This SMP used to have 50 players online at any given moment. Born at the height of the COVID pandemic, Covfefe Craft was a special server, filled with players, builds, countless stories, and a thriving community. But now, all that remains is the world download and fragmented memories. A few weeks ago, I received a random message request on Discord from a user called Noricor. In the message, he explained that he had set up a new SMP and was inviting old Covfefe members to join. I was intrigued by the opportunity to connect with people who I hadn't heard from in over 6 years, so I joined. After talking to a few familiar faces, I began to reminisce about the players, the events, the random stuff that happened all those years ago. But it's all kind of fragmented. So I booted up my old laptop and I found the world download. 30GB save took some time to copy over onto my PC, but a couple of hours later, everything was ready to go. Took a deep breath, clicked join, and then nothing. I mean, it was just a world download after all, but the silence was honestly kind of unsettling. No greetings in chat, no death messages, no sign that anyone else had ever been there. Just silence. And a reminder that this old home, frozen in time, was truly a thing of the past. So for some context, Covfefe Craft was split into multiple seasons. I was a player and later a staff member throughout most of Season 1, which lasted from early 2020 all the way to May 2021. So whenever I refer to the world of Covfefe in these videos, I'm always talking about Season 1. As I mentioned, I had a lot of fragmented memories from my time on Covfefe, but one thing I remembered very clearly was the Covfefe Times, a community-run newspaper that documented server events, random stories, and whatever else was happening at the time. And I also remember that inside my base, I had created an archive of every volume. So that was the first place I went, back to my base. And inside the walls of my castle, there it was, the Covfefe Times archive. Every volume, preserved for the day they would once again be read. The Covfefe Times started a few months into the server's life and ran for most of the season. It's not a complete record, it misses the beginning, around the first 3 months, and it probably misses a lot of things in between. But it's the closest thing this server has to a concrete timeline. And without it, this is just a world full of builds with no context. But with it, we can start to piece the things together. So instead of just walking around and guessing what happened from splintered fragments of my memory, I'm going to go through every volume of the Covfefe Times and use it to reconstruct the history of this server. Starting with the very first issue, because by the time the newspaper begins, the server is already a few months in and things are already happening. There are events, rivalries, and some genuinely weird stuff recorded in these, and somewhere along the way, one of the volumes also disappears. But we'll get to that later. For now, let's go back to where the record actually starts. This is the story of Covfefe Craft.